My broadcast. What's up? Wait 1 second here. Yo, for some reason now
You
my
can't
screen.
connect. You can't connect.
I got us, but my screen is frozen and yours is moving. Hold on, I got this. I got this. We're live right now. Hold on.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are. We are.
It doesn't say that you're live here on the TV.
Yeah, it will. It will pop right up. Trust me. We already got one person joined in.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Jose Rivera, what's up? Okay, hold on. My camera will not come in. You see how I'm locked in right there?
Yeah.
You see how I'm frozen?
Yeah.
Give me
Yeah.
1 second. Coming right now, baby. Why why is my picture still frozen?
Good question.
This is just great. This is awesome. Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, when you don't want shit to go wrong, shit goes wrong. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Let me see if it'll allow me to take my other video device, and hopefully I can pray to God and that it works. So, hey,
Yeah.
that'll work. There we go. Let me shrink it down, and we're going. We're golden. Hold
All
on,
right.
I
Let
got
me
you.
know.
Okay, we're just about there. Okay, I think that's good right there. Let me get in the picture a little bit.
A little bit more to the right. No, yours. Your picture. There you go. But go up. Go there. Right there. Perfect. Perfect. No, no. You should have left. Oh, yeah. That's fine. I can't hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Now I can. Now I
Yeah, I
can.
haven't been talking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, let's kick off this show. Here we go, finally. What's up, Armando, joining us here at Round One Sports Talk? I have a very special guest, Camachito Rivera. And Camachito, we go back a way backs in quite some ways, but here at Round One Sports Talk, I want my guests to get familiar with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about what you're working with?
Sure. My name is Jose Camachito Rivera. I'm a boxing promoter in the city of Worcester, in the same city where you're from, and the same city where we have Jermaine Ortiz. And
That's
actually,
right,
Michelle
baby.
Rivera now trains rock stones away from where I live, from where Edwin lives. I'm also an entertainment, urban music entertainment promoter, and I do media also. I'm a reporter. So
That's what that's
a
what's
jack
up.
of all trades and a master of none.
That's what's up. But don't
Oh,
you ever
wait.
yeah,
And my brother is the three-time world champion,
that's what I'm
boxing world
talking
champ.
about right there. That's what I'm talking about. Can you tell us a little bit about your brother and the titles that he held?
Yeah, man. Jose Antonio El Gallo Rivera, a kid from from Philly, born in Philly. Um, Mother in Massachusetts, came down here, lived with his aunt in Springfield first. We love boxing since Puerto Rico, and decided to come train in Worcester with Carlos Garcia, the don of boxing in the city.
Yes.
And converted him not only a great amateur, but into a good professional that fought at the same time when Trinidad was fighting. He fought for Don King. First belt was the WBA 140-pound world title. Went up, got another title, WBC in the 147, and then went to 154 and fought Ryan Garcia. 13,000 people here actually at the BCU
Yo, he
Center.
fought
And
all the way at 154, huh?
yeah,
Your brother?
140, 147,
Man,
154.
listen, them titles, every time I see him and I talk about him, man, I can't get enough. I get excited every time I see him, man. To me, those are the best titles in the world. You know,
And,
you
and,
know,
and, and now we have a promotional company, and we
that's
do
what's up.
boxing in New England and in the city.
That's
Oh,
what's up. So, look, we all know about the social media back and forth with Subriel Matias, but we don't know actually what's been going on. And you being behind the scene, um, in fact, you are familiar with Subriel Matias, aren't you?
yes, sir, I am.
Yeah,
This last year.
I've
I'm
seen on
sorry?
your Facebook webpage you had some pictures of Tito Felix Trinidad and Subriel Matias.
Yeah, we were at La Gallera in Puerto Rico in Naranjito. And we brought Subriel Matias to that gallera. He loves gallos. If you notice, his
Yeah.
logo is half a cockfighter, which my brother used to be a gallo, and Subriel Matias loves cockfights. So me
So,
and Tito, surprisingly with Tito, he didn't know Tito was going to be there. We celebrated his birthday last year. It was the first time he met his idol, and ever since then, me and him go back and forth. Me and Subriel.
So that's wait, hold on. Let's not go any further. So that's Felix Tito Trinidad, the Felix Trinidad.
Yes, sir. That's my boy. Like I said, I've known
Man,
Tito since
listen,
my brother was fighting for Don King, and when I go to Puerto Rico, I hang out with him, and I go to church with him and everything.
that's what's up, brother. That is what's up. Yo, so what's really been going on here? We I've been seeing some back and forth, and we covered it and we talked about this. I looked at your interview yesterday with La Salsa, Michelle Rivera's father there.
Miguel
Miguel,
Rivera,
yes. And
El Barón
I was
50.
yes, there we go. And I was watching the interview, and you asked him a lot of questions about Subriel, but I would like you to enlighten the fans and the viewers and show us a little bit behind the scene, a little bit more in depth, so that we could see with our own eyes what's going on. You said that there were some text messages going around,
Actually, audios. Well, there
audio,
was before the interview, there was already that back and forth going on with
right?
Pop and Subriel. The thing is that, first of all, is the public, like the fight fan, do they agree with him that his son has fought the stiffest opponents? Because that's what it comes down to. he says that Subriel hasn't really fought anybody.
What do you
But
mean,
you know, if you
Subriel?
really compare the the fighters, you could see who's really done the most damage in the sport.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Now, Rivera's one of, he just came to Massachusetts, so I'm in agreement with showing our fighters support, but I also gotta call it like it is. Here at Round One Sports Talk, we don't beat the bush, and we're not gonna show bias or favoritism to nobody. So we're just gonna call it the way we see it. But so let me get this straight, right? Michelle Ali Rivera comes up into the 140 pounds weight division and has one fight, right? And
Mhm.
Subriel Matias has been in the 140-pound weight division. He basically started his career there. He's been fighting all the guys at 140. He's the man that's been at 140 rocking out. And I understand that Rivera wants his shot and he's calling him out. But there's a part of me that believes that boxing is now veering away from people's hard work. And when you're coming up the rankings, it seems like if you're the loudest dog in the yard nowadays, it seems like you could jump over everyone. Now, the question I'm asking, like his father's asking, I think he has it the other way around. For me, Subriel Matias has been fighting the top guys at 140, and Rivera's only got one fight at 140. Is it me or am I saying something wrong here?
No, no, no. Listen, Michel Rivera's last fight was at 135 pounds against Frank Martin. But I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot going on to that loss more than meets the eye. There's a lot that people don't know, and there's gonna be a documentary on that. And I can
Really?
tell you, if there was a rematch right now of Frank Martin and Michel Rivera at that weight at 135, Michel Rivera will dog him.
Okay,
You have
okay, that's
you
easier. That's easier said than done. What are
no no
some of the
no
reasons?
wait wait. Let me tell you, I was there. I was in Las Vegas. I hung out with Rolly that night. Um,
Okay,
they took that kid. I'm not supposed to say much because, like I said, there's something's gonna come out on this. But that kid passed out in the locker room
he
and
did.
manned out Michel Rivera. His father
Michelle
will tell
Rivera
you
passed out in the locker room. That's what you're saying.
it for the we were there, yes, for the Frank Martin fight. Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a reason why he left Miami and the trainers he had over there and come and train with Jermaine Ortiz over here. Because he got set up by his trainers and he got set up by Man Down Production, who is Errol Spence Jr., who Frank Martin fights for Man Down, Errol Spence. I was there, I saw everything with my own eyes. The thing is that I know them both. I know Subriel. I know, his father has stayed here at this house with me. He's trained with us. And, I know both of them. I also know what happened in that loss to Michelle. And him and Jermaine Ortiz decided to go up to 140 pounds not too long ago for these fights together since they're training together. And yes, it was his first fight at 140 when he beat Sergey Lipinets. And people thought that was the 50, even his father thought that was the 50-50 fight, because
Right.
Lipinets has fought Boots Ennis. He fought Lamont Peterson. He beat
That's
Lamont
right.
Peterson. And he fought Mikey Garcia. So that's when Miguel Rivera says Lipinets is his son's toughest opponent and that Rivera hasn't fought anybody at that caliber. That's exactly what he's talking about right there. As soon as that he went up to 140, he didn't fight a tomato can. So now he thinks he could knock on the door of the boogeyman and 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 fight. Did you
Ah.
freeze again?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't freeze again. You see, you got me thinking here, right? Look, um, if okay, if you come up into a new weight division, right, and you're calling out arguably the most active champion at the 140 pounds, Devin Haney entering the 140, he just had one title defense. Teofimo Lopez had one title defense against Jermaine Ortiz, and Rolly Ramirez only had one title defense.
Right.
The greatest champion at 140 right now is Subriel-Matias. Now I don't know what these guys are talking about, and Rivera's father talking about he didn't fight anybody, and that these guys are tomato cans and anything. I looked up Liam Smith, and I looked up Subriel's last five opponents. You know, if you ask me, when you can't get one of the champions in the ring with you, I'll take an interim champion.
But you know
That's
what's
the
interesting? You know what's interesting about those 5 opponents?
what?
That when he lost to Petros Ananyan, he
Yes,
lost by unanimous decision. That same year, he fought him again, and he revenged it with a no mas. So he's
yes.
actually one of the guys that didn't come out from the corner. This is another thing that people fail to realize about Subriel Matias. He also retires fighters.
Oh,
You remember when he fought Malik Wilkins?
yeah.
Malik Wilkins was the favorite. Subriel Matias was the B-side for that time. He was only like 15-1. You know why they were high on him? He's from Baltimore. He's a GTD fighter at the time. Gervonta Tank Davis. The supposedly the next best thing coming out of Baltimore. And what did Subriel Matias do to him? He didn't come out from the corner.
Yeah.
Right? So that kid is inactive. He hasn't fought since 2021. He did fight, though. He did lose after to Subriel to Richardson Hitchens. And he wasn't, and that was only in 3 months because he fought Subriel in October, then Hitchison in December, 2 months and change. He could think he come back from the damage that Subriel did to him. He wasn't the same fighters and has been inactive since then. Nobody talks about that when they talk about the 5 that never came, left the corner and
Right.
humiliated themselves by not fighting, because after a training camp as hard as you do, I find it more difficult that a fighter does that than actually knocking them out.
Listen, I gotta be honest with you, right? In today's day and age, whenever a fighter is either coming off a loss or wants to really put himself up there, it seems to be a lot of clout chasing going on in the sport of boxing. People attach their names to great fighters. Ryan Garcia was all over social media attaching his name to the Japanese fighter Naoya Inoue, and knowing that he can't fight him at 140. Why would you say that man can come up and fight me? You're just cloud chasing at that point. And when this kind of got announced, and I saw that Michelle Ali Rivera, I see now that he's serious. He's at 140. His father's really campaigning for this. And there's been a lot of things said back and forth. Now, I got to admit, if Subriel Matias turned around and you got that man's attention, you might have said something to strike a nerve. So, I really want to get into these audios and see what was Michelle Rodriguez, I mean Rivera's father had to say, and I want to see what Subriel had to say, and then talk more about, do you really think he's ready for him?
All right, listen. The thing is that let me tell you what's really making them mad. The fact that he doesn't leave the dead alone. The fact that he doesn't let that man rest in peace. Talking about the Derrick, yes, whatever. However he
Max,
died, and that's what bothers, especially Subriel's manager. Like, they hate when he brings that up. So that he's getting in their skin. And it's interesting because it's hard to get in Subriel Matias' skin, and even his promoter, Orengo, I know him well. He used to do, he was Wisin and Yandel's manager. He did music before boxing. And that's
yeah,
actually what I do. And that guy is hard to get his attention. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He's a behind the scenes guy.
yeah.
And when you get these people's attention, you're really irking them. And it's about, the El Difunto, the dead boxer.
Yeah.
They're
You
not
know,
going for that anymore. As a matter of fact, Pedrito, after the interview yesterday, he sent me a voicemail. Pedrito is Subriel's manager. And
right.
actually, let me show you what he said. Let me show
All
you.
right.
And I'm going to show it to you because you're going to hear that he's actually asking me. Listen, when you talk with Michelle Rivera's father again, let him know to stop bringing up the dead. And I'm gonna show you that's exactly what he's saying. The ones that are gonna understand this is your friends instead that know Spanish, but you could translate.
Yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely.
this is actually Pedrito, Subriel Matias' manager, right? So this is what he told me first. He sent two audios. See if you could hear the first one.
Sí, sí, tranquilo que eso va, papi, tranquilo que usted es fino y decente, eso va. Dame un brinquecito y yo te doy palabra que eso va. Vamos a esperar en verdad que se haga bien oficial y todo y cuenta con mi palabra de Pedrito. Que de verdad, muchas gracias, brother.
And that was what he was telling me was that he wrote on our Instagram interview yesterday that he would do the interview with me, with Michelle Rivera's father and Subriel Matias, both of them live. I asked him for that, and that's what he's trying to tell me, that once the Paro fight comes out and he's ready to do interviews, that he's going to do that with me. But about what I was talking about is this one.
Y en verdad, después cuando hables con el varón, porque en verdad yo lo respeto, una persona mayor y yo nunca he hablado con él. Te lo dices como un consejo, gacho, no me invites respeto. Imagínate si te llega a pasar a ti, Dios cuida a tu hijo, pues imagínate que pasara y una persona lo menciona y lo menciona y lo menciona y él a veces, yo siento que hasta se burla de él, porque él dice, él está bien faltado y tú no lo pudiste ver, eso no pasaba golpe. Chico, uno, que por favor, me entiende como consejo, me entiende que yo sé que usted es fino y se lo puede dejar saber. No es porque no siga con la historia, pero es que no sé bien, ¿me entiende? Que sea empatía, empático y piense si le toca a su hijo.
Right. Right.
Can you hear that?
Right.
Exactly what
Loud
he's
and
trying.
clear. Loud and clear.
Right. So he's trying to say to listen,
If
get this
this
message.
could have happened to your son.
Yeah, yeah,
This could
yeah.
have
But
happened.
he's telling me, listen, get this message to him. Because if we're
Yes.
gonna try to do fix what's going on, and after my battle fight, we'll look into fighting you, because the truth is that the father did lie, because Subriel Matias sent me the screenshot of the 150 plus the 6 plane tickets. And he look at this is Subriel Matias sending me an audio. All right. So that's Subriel Matias. You can see right there on the top, right? In his
I can't see it. I
Instagram.
can't see it. I can't see it. You got no, put it up to the camera. You got to put it. Yeah. There you go. Now over a little. Over this way. There you go. Now we can see him.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is the audio he sent me.
Coño, estoy viendo ahora mismo la entrevista y el cabrón se atreve a decir que no es cierto. Y lo de los 4 meses, él tiene razón. Yo dije 4 meses, pero si la pelea era supuestamente el 15 de junio, saca cálculo desde el día que yo le dije lo del video hasta la fecha, a ver si no suman más de 3 meses.
You heard that, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying he's lying,
Right.
and that's why I wanna get them both together. I could be the mediator, because I do know them both.
Yeah.
I know them well. So
Yeah.
that's the only reason the father decided to do that. Like, he didn't even want you on, because he's afraid some people are gonna come stupid at him, and he doesn't want to look on camera the way that he's been looking anyways, because
Yeah.
but then he was talking about he's gonna let him train and make sure he doesn't focus on Michelle Rivera so he can win. So he's still poking the bear, you know.
Yeah, he is. He is. Now, let me ask you a question. Stylistically, styles make fights. Okay. And we understand that styles make fights. Now, out of all the opponents I've seen Subriel Matias come against, they've all looked strong. They've all looked good. They were 4 undefeated fighters in his last 5 fights, right? He made all 5 fighters quit on the stool. We know that. Do you think that Michelle Ali Rivera is ready for a fighter? Have you seen you being close to him? Because I told my fight fans this too. You got to keep this in mind that the next time you see that fighter, we should be seeing a much better, improved version of that fighter. So is it that he's seeing his son in the gym, seeing the improvements, and he really believes that he wants this smoke?
Um,
By what you see from your eye test, now I don't want you to, I know you know them both, and that would be putting you in a tight situation. I get it. I get it. Now, look, okay, I'm gonna make it a little bit easier for you. What do you think about the fight with Liam in
okay,
Puerto Rico, June 15th?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something real quick before I get into Liam Paro.
Okay.
I actually hate that date for the only ones that are going to be watching are the Puerto Ricans that day because that's also the day of the Gervonta David fight. And Gervonta David, that kid sells out arenas. You know, USA is going to be watching that. So I'm surprised that Matchroom and the Zone decided to go with that date when they know that
Who went
Frank
with these
Martin and
dates?
Gervonta Davis are fighting on June 15th.
Whoa.
That's horrible promoting.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll be in Puerto Rico for that. Liam Paro is on 24-0, 15 knockouts. But going to his box rec, who has he really fought? Same thing when who was the last fighter? Jeremiah Ponce was 30-0. And
Oh
everybody
no,
was
but
like, wow, you know?
Jeremiah Ponce was a real dog. Jeremiah Ponce was 30-0. He was coming off of a tear. He was knocking out all his competition. He just had eliminated one of his fighters in the I think it was like the first 3 rounds leading into the Matias fight. He shot over 100 punches in the first round. He tried to overwhelm Matias with a barrage of punches in that first round. And so I can tell you, if you're trying to come in there with power and strength and overwhelm him, Matias knows how to be patient. He's not going to panic.
Well, he
Um,
stopped him and he stopped him in the fifth. In
yeah,
the fifth
yeah,
round. You know,
yeah,
so they're all, yeah, you're right. All Matias last five except one, all four, because the
yeah.
guy that
18-2.
right, and that's the guy that he fought and avenged his loss.
Right.
That's the only guy that had the loss. But other than that, yeah, you're right. They all
How
have
many
been
how
you
many
know,
lefties how many lefties has Subriel Matias ever come up against? That's something
I think I know for sure Malik Hawkins, and I'm not sure if
because
Jucambear was like 18-0 at the time. I think he was actually he switched on and off like Jermaine fights because I remember
yeah.
one of these fighters fought that way against Subriel. I just can't remember if it was an Ion or a Jukenbuff, but it was one of those. So he's actually half fought a couple of them.
Yeah. And one of my subscribers just asked if he had a belt. Yeah, he has an interim belt, a WBO Global. He has the
Yes.
WBO Global right now. He did have the IBF International, and I think he's ranked in the IBF right now, Liam. So, look, like I said at the beginning of the show, when you don't got like a world champion that's willing to fight you right now, and all the world champions right now are busy currently scheduled fights. You got Devin Haney coming into the Ryan Garcia. You got Teofimo Lopez just finished up his fight. You got Rolly gonna go up against Isa Pitbull Cruz. So if you can't get one of the big champions, what do? You shoot for an interim world champion? That
Wait,
speaks to Subriel's, you know,
and let me tell you another in another 140 pounder that's actually no slouch and is gonna fight on the undercard of the Tank Davis is Edwin de los Santos.
yes.
So he's deciding on going up since the Shakur situation, but he's fighting on that undercard and he might fight at 140. He hasn't decided, and that's another one good competition in that division. 140 right now is stacked. There's a lot
It's
of
on
good
fire,
fighters.
isn't it? It's on
Yeah,
fire, isn't it?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you even got Jermaine Ortiz in there still
Listen,
mixing it up.
I told Jermaine he should go up to 147. It's only Bruce Ennis in his weight
Bruce
up there.
Ennis.
That's
That's it.
it. That's
But
it.
he would have opportunities to try to fight for one of those world titles. Look, I believe Worcester's gonna get their first champion in Jermaine. Okay, he had a couple tough breaks. Okay, but he's fighting world class fighters, and it's up to you for debate. But either those fights with the Loma and with the Tio, they could have went either way. And some of us believe that Ortiz just straight up won that fight. But now, it goes, if we're talking like that, it goes to show that he's right there. He's right there. And I believe he's young enough. He's got a good team behind him. I think he's going to be our first world champion. And I'm looking forward, to seeing some more out of him. But look,
Just don't look for him to fight Haney. He'll fight anybody else. But
I know that.
you,
I
you
know.
know,
I told my viewers here at Round One Sports, so they know that he's been traveling out with Bill Haney. He's got a
mhm.
relationship with Bill Haney. He's been going out there, and that's beautiful because learning more about the game and getting better in your craft is what you want to do. You do not want to stay stagnant. You know what I mean? In the world, they didn't just say read one book, learn one trade, learn multiple things. And I believe Jermaine can come back to Worcester and also bring some of that with him to the younger fighters. And it could go a long way. Who knows? But that's a good thing. Look, look, um, I'm going to be out in Puerto Rico June 15th. I'm going to be there with you. I'm excited. I want to see Subriel go in the ring. I believe that Puerto Rico needs this fight. I believe that the island, has really gone in the last few years under some horrible storms, and in certain parts, they're still rebuilding. And I believe that this would be a real boost for morale for the island. And if he can bring us the victory on that night, Rivera-Matias, I believe that I haven't seen. When's the last champion? I don't want to make any mistakes. When's the last world champion, born raised Puerto Rican champion that has brought a title back to the island? Do you know? Can
Amanda
you?
Serrano.
Well, besides, no, she didn't fight the other night. We didn't get
No,
her.
she didn't, but she's bought titles to. What are you trying to say? That has defended their title in
No,
Puerto Rico? Is that
no,
what
no,
you're
no.
saying?
I'm saying an island-born champion, not someone that just born in New York and is Puerto Rican and brings it. You have to be born in Puerto Rico. You see, and then bring a like Felix Trinidad, Tito.
Wait. Bomba Gonzalez.
Did he fight in Puerto Rico
He's fought in Puerto Rico, yes.
as a champion?
Absolutely.
Okay, see, we got to get some big names. We got to get, but I don't think Bomba Gonzalez when was this got such a big following like Subriel right now. And I think the island's going to be hyped to see Subriel fight, and to make a title defense. Now, I also would like to see Rivera-Matias fight some of the other champions. Honestly, on the outside looking in, I've already talked about this
So
with
let
my
me ask you
fans.
this.
Yeah.
Would you want to see this fight happen?
Which one?
Michelle Rivera, Subriel Matias?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna break it down. I think Rivera-Matias is in a different trajectory. I think Rivera is pulling on Superman's cape. I believe that Rivera is trying to, you know, get a quick rise to one of the belts. I don't blame him for that. It's kind of what you're supposed to do. But I think Subriel at this point in his career and at his age, he should be chasing the other champions.
But let me tell you what's going on with him too, and I understand it because I know the kid. You know what I mean? He was knocking right there at the door of a championship. If he would have won that fight with Frank Martin, he would have got a shot at Davis.
Oh, I know
And
that. I know that. I know
so
that.
when you're scratching in the surface and you can smell it, you think that you deserve to fight anybody because you were right there. And Michelle Rivera has been on the pound for pound list, believe it or not.
Listen. Since Michelle Ali Rivera's management and his dad had to recognize not too many people are calling out Subriel. So by him calling him out will make him a potential opponent right away. So if you want to really test yourself and you really want a shot at that IBF, the door was wide open. All anybody had to do was raise their hand. You see? And Subriel was going to be like, now Subriel's the type of man that he's from the show me state. Subriel is the type of man that I will show you that I can beat you rather than talk shit to you. You see? So I understand. Look, Subriel doesn't have too many people calling him out. I don't think Devin Haney's just going to hop right up in there. Rolly's not going to fight him. And do you think that Tio's going to sign up? I
Listen,
think Tio will
before
fight him.
his last fight, before he got Agershev, he was having issues getting opponents. You
You
know,
see?
there was three opponents that said no before they settled on Ergashev. And it was Lipinets, the guy that fought Michelle Rivera,
Yeah,
who was supposed to fight Subriel-Matias. That's
right.
another issue that his father keeps saying you prefer to fight Ergachev over Lipinets, and we fought Lipinets and made him look silly because Michelle did le dio una clase de boxeo. You know what I mean? That's another way he's poking him. You said no to Lipinets. You pick Ergachev because he had a bad leg. He had
Right.
surgery, so that's it's just there's some things that are true, but he uses them in another way, and I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
Huh. Huh. Look, um, I think that, Michelle Ali Rivera is a worthy opponent. He has good skill, good footwork. He has great eye-to-eye coordination. Um, as far as his level of competition, you know, um, I believe that Frank Martin was one of his biggest tests, but I also believe that you know, he's just not going to lay down right now. Whether or not he can go up and beat a fighter such as Subriel, only time will tell. And I
Now,
and
now that you said that, Edwin, I don't mean to cut you off, but before I
yep.
forget, this is interesting too. In the conditions that Michelle Rivera fought Frank Martin, I was right there in ringside. I went with media credentials, so I could tell you I was right there. I was in the room when they kicked everybody out when he passed out. I was right there when Errol Spence told Sam Watson, "We don't care. He's fighting." A lot of media members saw that, and it's all going to come out. It's all going to come out in a documentary.
All right. Look, I wasn't there, but I'll take your word for it. But
And and I'll tell you, that kid fought 12 rounds in the conditions he was in because Frank Martin should have knocked him out in the conditions he was in. And he fought 12 rounds. So that's another thing that when his father mentions, oh, él le peleó 12 rounds, mi hijo le peleó 12 rounds a Frank Martin, people say, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do, right? But people don't know what happened, what was going on behind the scenes.
hmm,
There was a lot of shit going on, and for that fight,
well, all right.
it almost didn't happen. But Errol Spence got his way, Frank Martin got his way, PBC got their way, and the kid lost, and they were down for a while because then whatever his corner gave Michelle Rivera, and made him piss dirty. Also, then he got suspended. So that the kid, I'm surprised the way he fought Lipinets after psychologically, because boxing is 80-90%
Yeah,
psychological.
I know that.
After
Yeah.
everything he went through, I'm surprised that he came to Massachusetts to train over here with Rocky, and you know that he actually could perform like that because another fighter, like, look at Malik Hawkins, inactive, couldn't take. There's certain fighters that can't take certain things and they don't fight no more. I was actually
Yeah.
surprised the performance after what I saw with my own eyes, what he went through. It still doesn't. That still doesn't mean that I think that he could beat Subriel, but Michel Rivera is a Class A fighter, world fighter.
Mm.
He is.
Well, mm, you see now the one thing that I start to think about now is the landscape of boxing and where it's headed today. When you see a lot of these fights fighting like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua, and you see a lot of these crossovers, and you see a lot of these people basically jumping in line in today's era, in boxing. Do you think that boxing's changing for the worse, or do you think that fighters should get their credit by moving up a ranking system?
I think they should get their credit. I think you should fight anybody in the top five. And, when you're the mandatory challenger for a certain champion, I think, you should fight him instead of picking Joe Schmo, But,
Yeah,
when Jake and Logan Paul decided, that they weren't going to do more of that influence and stuff and do boxing and move to Puerto Rico, I thought they were, actually making fun of the game. Like, you can't just come into the sweet science, um, never fought in your life, and because you have money, you're gonna, fight anybody and make a big spectacle out of it. You know, and that was at first until I saw that he moved to Puerto Rico and he actually, did a great gym over there to train and live with his brother. He created a foundation called Boxing Bullies that he's
nice, dog.
donated. I'm sorry?
No, no, no. I would just keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, Boxing Bullies that he's been donating to gyms in Puerto Rico. Went to Carolina, got Amanda Serrano a nice her own gym over there, and he made sure that women boxers get paid like men because they were getting paid garbage. MMA, UFC, he got a percentage of that, and he decided that they were going to get paid well also because I know what MMA fighters what they make. So he did do something like he leveled the balance with me in some things that he did for boxing. But I think if they keep this up, they're going down a bad road.
Well,
Tyson's almost 60 years old. I mean, come
yeah,
on now.
I get it. Yeah,
You want to put
yeah.
Tyson in your box rack at almost 60? I mean, come on now. You know?
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah, we can sit here and talk to forever on that shit. But I've been checking out some of my viewers and some of the people tuning in, and they got a lot of interesting messages, and I want to read some of them off, and I want to hear your response to some of them, right?
okay.
I got Ed Dog here saying, a father that loves his son will never let his son fight after passing out.
And it
What does
happens.
Michelle Rivera's father have to say to the fact knowing his son passed out in the room and still letting Errol Spence Jr. get his way over the money and fame? You put your
That's
son in
that.
jeopardy.
That's actually a great question. I have no idea why he decided to, and until this day, he regrets it. But you're right. He shouldn't have had left him in the conditions he was. I could show you an interview I did with him, and his eyes were literally like fish in a freezer. You know what I mean? I mean, he looked horrible. I still have that on camera, and that's a great question.
Yeah,
Great.
right. Um, yeah, sorry about that. You're right. The name is Smith. Yeah, and whenever you hear me or someone say that, just let us know. We can take constructive criticism, and thank you for letting me know that. It was just a mis said word, but some fans want to correct you. So, and I always like that too, you know. So we have some other ones. How much money is enough money to fight Subriel Matias?
I asked Miguel, you know what? I would like for your fight fans to go into my Instagram account and watch this interview, and then they could,
Why
get
don't
their
you
own.
tell them your channel? Why don't you
Well,
tell them
yeah,
your
yeah.
channel
Well,
right
no. The
now?
thing. Let me finish. The thing is that way they could draw their own conclusions of the audios they heard today, so they understand what the audios are talking about. And on top of that, I want to apologize because my audio was horrible yesterday. I committed a rookie mistake. Cometí un error de principiante y lo voy a aceptar because I had a whole production set up here for a YouTube, and you know
Yeah.
that because me and you spoke in the morning.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
then, it was so much of an issue that last minute we decided to do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, I want to apologize in advance that normally my content
Camachito.
doesn't sound
Camachi
like that, and it's sad
Camachito.
because yeah.
Yeah, listen, somewhere in the interview, I did it again. I called them Liam Smith instead of Liam Peru.
Liam Paro,
Paro,
yes.
yeah, yeah, I did it again. Remember earlier today you were telling me I was saying that? And I
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
getting them
yeah.
because I'm so used to saying Smith when I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah, no,
about the other one.
Liam Paro. The good thing is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you have, you have,
Yo,
you have
I bet you, I've been saying Liam Smith like from the beginning of the show, right?
probably.
So,
I know.
yeah,
Listen,
so the guy,
I know how you are with names. Believe me.
yeah, man,
I mean,
man, listen,
for
my
the
fight fans know
when
that about me.
listen, when
Go
I
ahead, brother.
introduced when I introduced you to Jermaine, what were you calling him for the longest time? And I'm like, Jesus, you're gonna
Jamie.
keep calling Jamie. You kept calling him Jamie. I'm like, Jesus, man, it's Jermaine. But
Yo,
okay.
yo. I don't know, man. I got older and I'm getting worse with names. Maybe it's the punches in the ring. I don't know. They're catching up to me.
Who knows? But
Who
listen,
knows?
give them my Instagram account because
Absolutely.
I use that's the newer one. Doesn't have a lot of followers, but hey, the more the merrier. Because I do my entertainment stuff in
Yeah.
another platform, but still,
Nah, you got some cool ass pictures with a lot of dope ass
no, no,
fighters they
no.
can
But what I'm
check
saying
out.
is that we're gonna start. I'm gonna start putting more stuff on my YouTube. I don't do YouTube a lot, so it's really not a lot of subscribers. But we could shoot the shit once in a while, me and you. And if I get a subscriber or two, and every little thing helps.
Yeah,
But
absolutely,
let
man.
them
Nah.
know what my IG is.
Okay, I will. I'll leave it in a link description below on the
Yeah.
video so that they
Yeah,
can click on it.
I want them to watch the interview because
Yeah.
now I'm gonna get one with Subriel Matias and the father. So
Ooh.
they actually agreed to that. I don't
So
know
they're going
when, but as soon as that happens, I'll let you know so you could go live while we're on the interview. I'm gonna try to make it YouTube, but if you come over here on Monday, you set it up for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, 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 no. I love always chopping it up. I always love talking boxing. And I'm always a student of the game. I'm always willing to learn more. I know my fair share, but I don't claim to know it all.
Right,
And
right,
I always would like to chop it up and perfect my craft. Here I started this channel here at Round One Sports Talk, and I really want to take it to a different level. And when like men like you, learning more every day and getting to know the fighters on a different level, you know, um, um, this is what I would like to do. This is my passion, and I share my passion with men like you, that are similar to me and want to do the same. So look, we're both going to Puerto Rico. We're gonna be at this fight, and I'm not sure what you're gonna be doing after the fight, but maybe we could hook up, and I don't know if you're gonna go to Trinidad's house or what's gonna happen. But
No,
listen,
what I can tell you is that I will be going to church with him because Tito Trinidad has really taken it up to going to church a
yeah,
lot. He's really into it. So listen, I'm trying to see if he wants to do a podcast with me where we go on
really,
live on video every week. It'll be huge because everybody's gonna follow him. You know what I
right,
mean? But
right,
ever since he's been fighting at Banco Popular in Puerto Rico over that money that was taken from him, like there's a lot of his time has been taken up with that. And actually, he won. He's just waiting on something else so the bank can pay him his money. Then he'll be
okay,
more available for other things and stuff
for
like that.
future
But yeah,
things, for
you
future
will
things.
definitely meet him. You will definitely, and of course, I'll hang out with you and your wifey one day. We'll have lunch or dinner. I'll be driving the island. I can't go over there for a fight without going and seeing my family and
Yeah,
doing what I do.
absolutely.
Because I know a couple of artists. Sayo and Lennox. I actually have a shade business with Lennox.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, yeah, yep.
that's what's up.
Yes, sir. I'll show you
Listen,
later. It's on Facebook. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
no,
Yeah, he
I've seen a lot of things, but I just like you to talk over it because
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
viewers haven't
yeah.
seen it.
So
So just
I
getting you
can't.
to
I'm
share it
not.
with us, you
Yeah,
know,
I'm just not gonna go to Puerto Rico to for the fight. I will be doing, some things. So actually, I would like to go to talking about
we get the likes up in here. Can we get the likes? Sorry, go ahead.
Jake Paul. To be honest with you, I would love
Really?
to go. Absolutely, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. I would like to talk to him, but it
I heard
had.
about his gym over there. Have you ever been to Jake Paul's gym over there?
No, I haven't. I haven't, and that's what I'm trying to say. I would like to go and talk to him, but I have to talk to him about something else. So I'm hoping that a good friend of mine from New York that knows his business manager approves it when I go to in June, and hopefully I could get something going with especially his brother who they have that prime drink, and I'm doing
Yeah,
that with that investor in New York and our stuff. They're influencers. One of our guys is an influencer. If they could be part of our thing that we have going on, it'll be great. So we're gonna try to do
wow.
some stuff.
Hey, I don't mean to like change everything, but you brought up that prime drink. You see, Ryan Garcia and the prime
I,
debacle there too.
I saw it. I saw it. And then after that, he did his usual. I'm getting off of social media and blah blah blah. And I think that kid has serious issues, man.
Listen,
Psychological.
listen.
Uh,
I've shared it here on my channel, and I said, man, what a sad case for American champions and American fighters that they have to do these kinds of antics to say, look at me, buy my fight.
But
When there's men
listen,
and women fighting.
Ryan Garcia has always been an Instagram diva. That's nothing
Ah,
new.
you
That's
know
nothing
that.
new. And what's interesting is that he gets the fights and he's never had a belt.
Never, never.
It just goes to show you the entertainment part of this
Exactly what I've
industry.
been talking about on the
You
show.
know,
Like, do you feel that boxing, and you said yes, it's headed in a bad direction because, it's not that your hard work gets you there anymore. It's whoever has the biggest mouth and is willing to put on like antics and say, "Oh, let's see him fight him." That's not what the sport of boxing is.
you know who I told that to? I told that to Jermaine because Jermaine Ortiz was very quiet. And I told him, because me and his uncle are really tight. And I told him, you need to open your mouth more. You know what he did? He made a platter with a fork, time to eat in 2024. And after that, they give him a mic. He's calling everybody out. You
Yeah.
got to do it. You
No,
have
because
to do it. I
that's
went through it with
exactly
my brother.
that's
Humble
exactly what
doesn't.
Michelle Rodriguez about
That's what his
Rivera
right. His father right.
is
Like
trying to do. They trying to catch one, but that's a mighty big fish.
it is. It is. It is. It is. And it sucks because I'm in the middle, but they know that when it comes to this media stuff, I'm not gonna pick a side or anything. I'll do
No,
that in
no, 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 no,
private.
no, 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 no.
You
Hold
know,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You don't have to pick a side. You just got to get them to come together.
yeah, but
Come
that's what I'm
together to
doing.
talk about it, and let's talk about it, and let's see what's really going on. Who's
But right,
ducking who?
and that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I could get both sides because, like I said, I'm not. They don't want to talk to other people. Like Miguel Rivera's pissed at Cesar Seda and his program and his podcast. I think he's pissed at Mr. Boxing because they've been trying to set him up. Oh, let me do an interview, and then they'll try to sneak these guys in, and
Oh,
and,
that's
and
why
they
he
get
didn't want to
pissed at
have
that.
both of us. That's why he didn't want to have both of us yesterday in the interview at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And he knows
yeah,
I won't do that to him. And the other side knows how I roll. So,
right,
they're willing to go with me as a mediator.
right, 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 right. Yo, man, listen, this is real interesting, man, and I find it real interesting that you know they're poking the bear, but I have to be honest with you. I wanted to touch up on one point real quick, and I didn't really want to really stay on the point too long. But as for me, I think they're showing really low class by taking shots at him by a tragic accident that happened in the ring. There's other ways you can take shots at the man and raise your hand and say, I would like a shot at your belt. You see, and make some noise. You don't have to try to tarnish a man's legacy. And I can see where Subriel is upset because of that. You're not tarnishing or wanting to like beat him in the ring. What you're doing is attacking his name. And that's much more than fighting a man in the ring. You see? And when it's all said and done, I know that Subriel wants his name to be placed among some of the best Puerto Rican fighters to ever live. And what happened in the ring is gonna follow him. It will follow him. But as long as Subriel himself showed class about it, fair competition, and he's like, but the way they're using it. It was a kind of a turn off for me, and I can understand where Subriel would be upset for that. And I also understand that if you say something out of your mouth, careful what you say, because at some point you just might have to cash in those receipts.
Right,
You see?
right, 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 right. I'm telling you, another interesting thing is that he got some news the night before the interview. And that's why I want people to see it because it was interesting that he said that the other 140 pounder, Elvis Rodriguez, the Dominican, they said that they offered him, I think it was 300,000 to fight Subriel. And Miguel Rivera knows his brother very well. And he told him, I don't know why 80,000 and 150 is being thrown around when they offered my brother 300. Do they consider your son in the same level as Edwin, that they're going to offer Edwin 300 and you 150? And that's why he was talking about, I have something new I want to tell so they could tell me if I'm lying or not. You know what I mean? So that's
Right.
another issue. Another issue that's going on, a new one that's going on now.
I really listen. I don't look at some point in a boxer's career. I really think that sometimes they gotta understand that all fights sometimes are not about the money. They're about the belts. And when in history has shown that there has been fighters in the past that have taken less money just to get a crack at those titles. Devin Haney went through the ringer with George Camboza out there in Australia, and he signed a 3-fight deal with Top Rank just to get that one fight. He knew when all the smoke cleared in the end that if he was the man on top with all the belts, that he would get the money later. As long as he had the belts, money would come with that. Now, being in Rivera's situation, bickering about money, sometimes there's things more valuable than money. And if you really wanted a crack at that belt, brother, I would fight you in a parking lot for that IBF. I wouldn't give a fuck about the money because the money's gonna come after I'm champion. You see? So sometimes when I see that and I see fighters saying, no, we want more money, blah, 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 it makes me think when there's a belt on the line, though. When there's no belt on the line, okay, it's about the money. But if there's a belt on the line and your son's never fought for a belt, bro, I'll fight that man for $5. I'll make my money later after I'm champion. You see?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Miguel El Barón Rivera wants to get paid. He wants the money. His son might be thinking about a belt. The father is looking for the money. I know what I'm telling you.
Yeah. You know, there who's doing the fighting here? The son or the father?
Right. Well, that's someone asked an interesting question. Like, did he let his son fight in those conditions in the Martin fight because of the money? And
Because
that's
of the
you know
money.
that's sad. That's sad. That's
Because
sad.
look, I'm gonna tell you right now, you know, when you get into this sport and in any craft and in any sport, what you want to achieve is the highest award in your sport. The highest award in boxing is a real world title. Now, it's hard enough just to get one world title or even get champions to want to fight you. You see? So when I'm being offered and they return my phone call, bro, whatever money they would have said, I would have took it if I was serious about becoming a world champion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I hear you.
That's I mean, you know, and when you're talking about, oh, no, more money, you know, that's why I was like, you know what? I I don't see Subriel ducking no one, and I don't see this, you know, but at some point you have to really um ask yourself, why are you in this? Are you in it for the money or are you in it for the belts? You know, what
Let
do you
me tell
want to
you.
do?
Let me tell you something about Subriel. He's actually like the fighter I have in Connecticut. They call him Mini Tyson, Anthony Ortiz. That kid's gonna be a world champion. He lets his manager, me, and his promoter, my brother, and the other investor we have in New York, pick the guy for him. He's always in shape. All he does is train. He believes in his team. Doesn't matter who we put in front of him, he fights him. Subriel will tell you the same thing. I'm always in condition. My job is to train. Whoever my team puts in front of me, that's who I'm fighting.
Interesting point, because you know a lot of these people sometimes when they hear this back and forth, they act like Subriel's in the fucking phone making these offers.
No,
He's not the
absolutely.
one making the offers;
Sometimes,
it's the
listen,
promoters.
sometimes he doesn't even know until we report it.
Right.
I reported it the other day, and he texted me and he said, "Wait, did my manager tell you that?" Like he didn't even know yet.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't want to bother the fighters with the business part of it. He
And
doesn't
then
need to
he
be
and
bothered by
then
that.
when he went to the gym in Mexico, I guess over there they told him. But I had slipped from what Padrito told. I posted it, June 15th in Puerto Rico being worked with Liam Paro. He texted me, wait a minute, because he knows I won't post unless he tells me, yes. And I did it because I asked Pedrito. I had heard about it in another content I saw. So I decided to hit Pedrito up, and Pedrito told me, yes, we're negotiating. This is the second negotiating we do with Liam Paro's people. They said yes. We're just working out the last next because now they fight for the zone. It's a different. They don't fight for
Right.
PB, which is Prime now. Used to be Showtime. He doesn't fight, for them anymore. So
So
they're
hold on,
working
hold on,
all
hold on,
that
hold on, hold
out.
on. Hold on. Just back a little bit up there. You said some interesting things. That way the viewers know who's taking over Showtime spot. Prime?
Prime Video.
Prime Video's taking over for them, right? Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
who is Subriel signed with? Ed
Matchroom,
Hearns.
Eddie
Matt,
Hearns,
right. And who is Rivera signed with?
Salita, but Dimitri Salita, but they use the Zone as their TV platform, just like Matchroom does. So if a
Okay.
fight does
Okay.
happen, it'll be easy.
That's
because
what
it's
I'm
on.
trying to get to. Do you see where I'm going with this? I want to see if they're on the same side of the street so that they
They
don't have
are.
no promotional and that the
They.
fans see that this fight is easier to make than rather working with either, the PBC, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Or,
it is. It is easier to make because they would both fight on the zone, which is Salita and Eddie Hearn. So it's
right.
not hard. It's not a hard fight to make. As a matter of fact, Dimitri Salita was telling the promoter, "Let's make this fight happen." Michelle's new promoter. I just put a post today. He signed by. Did I send it to you?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
did. I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yes. So we
Yeah.
actually put it up today.
Okay. Look, this is my thing, right? Okay. I'm not going to back you in a corner and say that, do you think he's ready? But, honestly, right after the Liam fight, if Subriel were to be successful, um, Lee fighting him at 140, like next, like the promoter, they don't want to get him a fight in between, maybe two fights.
No, no, because they feel that he fought a fighter that Subriel didn't want to fight. He fought a fighter that was supposed to give him competition and be 60-40, 50-50, and he outclassed him. So they think they're ready.
But that guy's not Subriel.
Right, but it's Sergey Lipinets that you were afraid of. That's their mentality. You
Oh,
decided to fight Ergashev and you said no to Lipinets after you guys almost signed. So they fed Lipinets to my son. My son destroyed him. You
I
see
see
their
where he's getting. I
you
see
see their
where he's getting his
mentality?
false confidence from. Where he's getting his
Exact.
false confidence from. Yes, they're judging one fight from a man that he didn't fight, and they're trying to say that they can win this fight. I see where you're going. Okay, that's all wrong. you know, you can't. Styles make fights, and every fighter is different.
Right.
And um,
Right.
and let's just back up for a second. Subriel wasn't scared to fight that guy. He was just taking care of old unfinished business by knocking out the guy he lost to. You see, during the time. You see, so it wasn't like he was scared of lipping whatever. You know what I mean? It just that fight never matured. It never blossomed. I think he would have fought him too. And then
Well,
when
no, no,
Rivera fought,
no. This is the thing though. When they offered him Lipinets, who was supposed to really be the mandatory
yeah,
for the IBF
for
at
the IBF.
140, was Ergachev.
Okay,
So the IBF told him, why don't you fight Ergachev, who's the mandatory? And they
right.
said yes. They said yes. So they forgot about who was like probably 12 at the time. So they fed him to Michelle. But I mean, I think Ergachev was stiffer competition than Lipinets.
So,
Others might think differently, but that kid Ergachev was dangerous.
oh, wait. So their whole point is that they would have rather Rivera-Matias fight the guy they would have liked and take the chance of the IBS stripping him for not fighting is mandatory. So either way he would have went, they would have felt like he was ducking one of them. He's not two people. He couldn't fight both of them. You understand? You understand? So because Ali Rivera's team feels like, oh, he didn't fight this guy, he went and fought this guy because it was mandatory. He's, oye, tiene que compensar with the
Listen,
IPF.
hay demasiado de mucha polémica, demasiado de mucho controversia. Lo único que yo le voy a dejar saber a Miguel Rivera es, y esto lo dijo Pedrito, me lo pidió, lo puedo
English.
decir aquí, me lo pidió. Dígale a Barón que deje de hablar de Abdel the Chef. Ese hombre está muerto. The family, the least they need is hearing this all the time. Estar escuchando esto. ¿Y cómo te gustaría que fuera tu hijo? ¿O qué pasaría si tú pasaras esto con tu hijo? ¿Te gustaría que la gente estuviera hablando? So, por favor, sea un poquito más empático. Eso es
Right.
lo único que están diciendo.
Yeah.
Y
All
yo,
right.
y yo, y yo respeto eso. So, claro que se lo voy a dejar saber a Miguel.
El inglés. Explícalo
You know,
inglés.
of course, I'm gonna let Miguel know that they're asking politely. Stop talking about the dead man. Let
Yeah.
that family in
Yeah.
peace. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean?
I
They don't need to
agree.
be hearing
I
this all the
agree.
time.
There's other
You know,
ways. There's other ways to
if
pick
you
a
want to
fight.
come at us at any
If you
other
want to
way,
come at, yeah,
listen,
there's other
we
ways,
don't
bro.
care. But
Yeah,
stop talking about
that's low
that
class, brother.
situation that our fighter doesn't want to hear it, and it's actually hard for him. It's
Right.
actually hard for him.
Right,
So,
right,
you know,
right. I think, there's a lot of people that just want to leave that fight in the past. We understand and what happened. For him to keep bringing it back up, it's not really showing.
and I'll tell you, if the fight does materialize,
Yep.
Subriel-Matias is going to go in there with rage because of that. Not anything else. Not anything else.
Yeah. And where you
Because,
think that
but
fight will be held, and seeing that Rivera's Dominican, he's Puerto Rican, where you think this fight is gonna be held at?
it will never be held in the Dominican Republic. I'm gonna tell you that.
You-
But his father thinks that if it happens in Puerto Rico, that his son has no chance of winning, and he said that yesterday in the interview. He said that he took his belt off, showed me his belt, and said this is the only belt he would be bringing back to Santo Domingo because he has no shot in Puerto Rico. He went too far as to say that the whole island chipped in so they could pay for Liam Paro to go to Puerto Rico so they could witness this fight. He went as far as to say that
Wow.
yesterday. That's why I want people to see the interview.
He's really starting this fire. He wants these smokes. He
That's why
wants
I
these
say
hands, baby.
That's why I say that if it happens, like they're not gonna give him crazy money because they understand
Right,
what the father's trying to do. But if
right.
they
The father's
offered,
trying to overprice himself so that he doesn't take the fight, bro.
yeah, well, no, listen. If they offered Elvis Rodriguez 300, I think that's plenty for Michelle.
No,
300 is not bad.
no, no. I I
300 is
dis
not bad.
I disagree. I respectfully disagree. I believe Rivera's worth two. I believe he's worth two, maybe two and a half.
Well,
Three?
at a championship fight, fighting a person that not everybody wants to fight, I could see where they could give you three, and whatever perks they're asking for.
Uh,
But the father's talking about, oh no, Jermaine made what was it, 700,000 for the Theo fight.
Forget
Well, they
about
got to
what's
give us
somebody
at least.
else's pocket. Forget about what's in somebody else's pocket. Pay attention to yours. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Why is he always axing and shopping around what other fighters made? Like, come on, man.
Because I'm trying to tell you that that man sees dollar signs, man.
Yeah.
That
Obviously,
man sees dollar signs.
if he knew that his son passed out in a locker room, went back there and still allowed him to fight because he didn't want to abandon the money, because in his head he already spent it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, unfortunately.
Hey, you gonna sacrifice your own son for that, boy? Let me tell you.
Don't forget to put my Instagram, not the personal one,
Yes.
the other one. So I want them to see the interview. Sorry about the audio. That definitely won't happen again. But check out the interview so you can judge for yourself what is it that he's saying, and when they're clapping back or sending in audio, what parts is it that he's lying on and yada yada. It's become a snowball effect with this thing
Yeah.
now. You
Yeah,
know,
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, I was watching a little bit of it and stuff, and at the same time, I quickly went on a live, and then my live kind of took off from there, which was really cool. And I showed some footage of your live stream with Salsa, and I heard what he had to say, and the way he talks, I'm not mad at him because of the fact that in this game, if you want your name to be recognized, you're gonna have to say some shit, sometimes. But I'm just on this side of the fence where I believe you could still have class. In saying some things. And I also know that in competition, Puerto Rican and Dominican rivalry has been going on since probably I've been born, okay? But I also respect them as our neighboring cousins, and I don't need to disrespect or lower someone to let them know that I want to compete against them. There's just other ways. You see? So I feel that Subriel Matias, he sees that leading into the Liam fight, he couldn't get no one to fight him. If Michelle Ali Rivera is the one that's calling him out, let's see if he's really about it. Let's see if he's not really pricing himself out and that he's not cloud chasing and putting his name against, attaching his name to a champion just so that you don't forget his name. You see? So, are you doing this because there's going to be a fight, or are you doing this just to keep your son's name irrelevant? You
it's a
see?
little bit. It's a little bit of everything. He really, really wants this fight because, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. He ain't gonna right now. It's gonna be hard to fight Rolly or Pitbull Cruz, whoever wins that fight, because he just had beef with PBC. They're not gonna touch Michelle Rivera, so it's gonna be even harder to deal with Top Rank because Jermaine Ortiz right now is Bob Arum is not happy with Jermaine Ortiz, and he knows that Michelle is his stablemate. He got to go after this champion, and it's the wrong one to go after.
Mm, mm. Jose Rodriguez says Michael Rivera Rodriguez's father is a clown. we got Bam Bam Boogie. They do it for the clout. Yep. They are Tito is fire. Yes, sir. Smash the like button for Edwin. That will be a great interview. Yeah, listen. I think that fighters do this all the time, but at the same time, I know that you're gonna have to answer for it. Like fighters like Ryan Garcia, he cried wolf for a long time until what they did, they hanged his ass to dry and they made him fight Devin Haney. I think he pushed a lot of buttons at Oscar De La Hoya's promotional company, and they were trying to like shelter him for a while until they had enough of his shit and said, "You want this fight?" And they're letting him have it. But in this fight business, I'm a firm believer in watch what you ask for.
Well, listen, you're
Watch what
right.
you ask for.
Ryan Garcia has irked Oscar, has irked Bernard Hopkins, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The kid, he needs help. The kid needs help, man. And when he went to train in Texas with James over there, who trains, Carlos and Errol Spence, Derek James, they weren't too happy with that because he practically made that decision on his own without counting with his team. Said, "Fuck this! I'm going after the the Tank Davis fight."
Yeah,
You
he
know,
hooked up with Derek James and them. Yeah, look. A lot of these guys, they cry wolf to me in the sport of boxing. And Ryan Garcia is a lot of people are saying that he's in a tight space. But if you can agree to what you just said, that he needs help, then why are they allowing this fight to continue?
because
Why
they
are
are
they allow
irked because they are earthed with him. Exactly what you
And
were
let me tell
saying.
you something. When he
After
loses the fight, is it the fact that if he loses this fight, they're already coming up with the storyline and the excuses of why he lost this fight? The world's going to turn around and say, you saw a man having a meltdown and you guys allowed him and continued him to fight,
exactly
right? So
another
how much credit could Devin Haney stand to get off of this win?
listen, another sad situation, another one. Like you're letting this kid like if it was my fighter, and I have a good one. And he's going through this mental health issue. No, I'm getting him diagnosed. I want to see what the fuck is going on. You're not going in that ring until you're
Yeah,
100%.
right, right.
You can't. You come on now. It's sad. It's the money, the fame, the glory.
Let me tell you
It's
something, brother. Let me tell you something, brother. In a sport of boxing where that you can suffer injuries, and I've seen a lot of legends retire, and the those punches caught up to them. If you ask me, sometimes the money isn't worth it, but to chase after legacy and to chase your dreams, I get it. I get it. I get why. But when you're put in these situations and you see these kind of moments in the sport and they're unfolding in front of you, the question is, well, if you saw this person crying for help, no one's acknowledging that you think we should like really check on this boy and maybe give Devin Haney a better opponent. They do have Barboza there on a standby. I see that, right? And when I talked to my fans, I said Subriel could have came in on a standby, but I don't think Subriel was going to pass up the opportunity of bringing Puerto Rico that fight. And since Devin Haney won't go out to Puerto Rico, and I said, well, then I don't ever see that fight ever coming about. But if we're this close to April and Ryan Garcia is all over social media having a meltdown right before our eyes, but the world is doing what about it? Absolutely nothing. The fight is still on schedule. They're going to go into the ring, right? And what happens if he gets hurt in there? What happens if Ryan takes a weird step or Danny hits him? You know what they're going to
nothing.
say?
Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
They won't do anything because of the money. Because of the money. And they're willing to put these young men's lives at risk for the money and for the event, for the pay-per-view buys. You know what I'm saying? And like, look, if this is a show from Ryan, this is going to go down as one of the greatest fucking mindfuck games that a boxer could have did to anyone. If he goes in there and beats Devin Haney, right?
That would be shocking.
That would be, listen, it would eclipse finally the Buster Douglas Mike Tyson knockout.
Tyson. I was just gonna say. Yep.
You know? Well, listen, man. Oh, man. I'm waiting for the link as well. Everybody wants me to share the link to your video. So, why
Just
don't you?
tell them to follow. Tell them to follow me
No,
on
why
Instagram.
don't you tell them your own link to your own video right now? You have a chance. Let them know.
Listen, just spell it out for them. SHOWZEN_productions. Chosen one with a S. SHOWZEN, the number one, productions.
There you got it right there.
Chosen One Productions. Same one on
Cho-
Facebook. It's on Facebook too. Look for Chosen One Productions.
Chosen One Production. That's on Facebook and YouTube. You can
And
go.
I know IG, Instagram.
IG. Sorry, IG. See, you gotta let me know. Gotta let me know.
Well, YouTube. Once we start doing more interviews and stuff,
Which
we'll
which
give
which
them
I was
my.
gonna come. I was gonna come and ask you. Look, I really had a great time here tonight. I really like chopping it up. I would really like you to come back to the show. Maybe if you can, maybe every Friday or something, or we could put something together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
um, um, I won't. I wouldn't. I would really like have somebody to talk boxing more and keep me more informed with the people behind the scenes. You being affiliated with Top Rank as well, right?
Yes.
You what?
And Showtime, but they're done.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
were paying me to go down. Like they fly me down for the Garcia fight.
oh yeah.
Andrade Garcia when he fought Tank Davis, and
Okay.
I for as the translator.
Right. So like you do a lot of things with the sport, and that's where I want to be, and I want to get more deeper into this. So, I really want to invite you back. My subscribers, they had a lot to say. I loved everything. Can we get these likes up in here? Can we get some likes for my man up in here? Can you go check him out? He's got a great uh IG account. I want you guys to go check it out. He got some good boxing pictures up there. He's got pictures with Felix Trinidad, Subriel-Matias, all kinds of stuff. You guys can check it out for yourselves. I will still, after the end of the show, I gotta still come up with the link in description and put it up, but I can only do that until after the video. So I just and if you if you were interested in knowing, you're gonna show us something. I see you checking over there.
No, actually, they got some followers.
Nice, nice. So, listen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on, sharing us your insight in boxing. I learned a lot today. I know you've been standing there for a long time, so I don't want to keep I'm taking up all your time. But look, thank you for bringing everything and shedding some light on this. We look forward for future interviews. Like you said, you're looking to get both of them on the phone together, and I'm looking forward to watching that with you. And maybe, my fingers crossed, get my foot in the door with you and get an interview here and there. But listen, it's always love.
Well, you
Come out.
got you got the Jermaine Ortiz one, and you didn't think it was gonna happen, and I got it for you.
Oh,
So
round one sports talk. This is my man right here. Gave me that. There's Jermaine Ortiz one too. You know what I mean? That's right. Showing the love. So look, Gamacho, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for bringing your boxing insight. It's always been a pleasure from me to you here at Round One Sports Talk. Anyone else got anything to say? All my fans are saying, "What's up, Puerto Rico in the house?" They're showing much love. They're gonna go out and check out your channel. So, like always, I'm on to the next video after this video here at Round One Sports Talk. Camacho, say goodnight to the viewers.
thank you,
Salute.
everybody, for showing up. Thank you. It won't be the first time.